From the front lines of Russia's war in Ukraine to a gala in New York City, Sevgil Musaeva was honored Thursday for her relentless work in keeping her team at Ukrainska Pravda safe and her country informed. Speaking with VOA in Warsaw, Poland last week, Musaeva says the Committee to Protect Journalists Award is recognition of the efforts of independent media across Ukraine. The war has changed how her investigative news outlet works.
Before this war, of course, we focused more on the domestic issues. We covered politics, we covered corruption, we did a lot of investigations about high-level officials, for example. We covered also reforms, and it has changed dramatically because 90% of our coverage now is about war and coverage from frontline.
The important role that independent media play globally was celebrated at the International Press Freedom Awards ceremony.
We want to celebrate the fight of the journalists for greater press freedom in their countries, their work, and also the work of their teams through them. And this year, the choice was very obvious, I think. We knew that it should, one of the awards should go to Ukrainian journalists.
Alongside Musaeva, the 2022 Press Freedom Awardees are Vietnamese blogger Pham Don Tran, who is in jail, Iraqi Kurdistan reporter Niyaz Abdullah, and Cuba's Abraham Jimenez Inoa. Jimenez spoke with VOA in Barcelona earlier about the pressure he came under over his coverage of human rights and the opposition. Havana authorities arrested Jimenez, forced him to make false statements on TV that he was a CIA agent, and then finally gave him an ultimatum.
The government called me by telephone and told me I had to leave the country or they will put me in prison and create problems for my family.
Although forced into exile, Jimenez says he has no regrets.
I asked myself if this repression was affecting my loved ones. I felt guilty, but I carried on relating the truth because the government was carrying out this repression.
Ukraine's Musaeva remains similarly committed to defending the media's right to report. She recalls interviewing people who had been trapped in occupied cities.
They told me that the hardest part during the occupation was not even being out of food, without electricity, without water. The main challenge, and it was really difficult to be out of news all the time.
With Russia's retreat from Kherson, Ukrainians will be relying more on journalists like Musaeva to tell their story to the world. Igor Tikhanenko, VOA News, New York City.